we're going straight to the next panel session, which is the secret to the market penetration. The moderator for that session is Olajumoke, the manager of ShopEX. A round of applause.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. Thank you, Timmy, for that very insightful session. She's gone. She has run away. Okay, cool. So, it's good to meet everybody. I'm going to sit down. Okay. So, I'm hoping we have a really exciting, interactive session. I think what makes panel sessions boring is when the speakers of the panelists keep the energy within themselves. So I'm hoping that we get questions, interactions, and we can make this as practical as possible. So let me start. I have a very impressive list of people, but before I call them, I'll just give a bit of background about myself. I work at ShopEX TV as country manager currently. Just before that, I was Chief Marketing Officer at Jumia, Nigeria, where I managed. I'm not looking at my trust. Where I managed the e-commerce business, the fintech business, Jumia Pay, and the on-demand business. We call it Jumia Pay. So before that, I worked at Wakana. Tammy was at Wakana. So I have a bit of agency experience as well. I see as an agency. So I know a few things. Okay, I'm going to call in my panelists. So the first panelist is Olabinjo Adeniran. Olabinjo was co-founder of Future Africa. We all know Future Africa, right? I think he said from there. That's United. Okay, so Olabinjo is co-founder of Future Africa. He's a Nigerian technology professional with over 10 years of experience leading and managing marketing campaigns for Africa's startups. Olabinjo is an author of a book that's a defining one for the sector. It's the Growth Handbook, Scaling Fintech in Nigeria. I'm sure as we start to speak a bit more with him, we can get a lot more about what he does. Thank you. My next panelist is Ized. I'm going to call Ized. This is like this. Thank you, Ized. Ized is the CEO and co-founder of Zedi Inc. She's a biochemistry graduate. Like me, I have a microbiology background as well. With 10 years post-college experience in marketing. She founded Tora Africa. She's a serial founder. She worked at CNN Africa as a social producer. She was director of marketing and growth at Max Okada as well. So Ized is the CEO and CMO of News Media. Ized does a lot of things. You want to say something? Yes, I know now. I'm saying all the things that. Okay, so thank you, Ized. Welcome. Next panelist is Chinedu Okparaku. Do we know Money Point? Yes. Chinedu is the marketing lead of Money Point. The marketing expert. Chinedu has a master's degree in marketing communication and a graduate degree in communication. So he's a communicator. So he's worked in sectors such as oil and gas, insurance, investment banking, and banking. My last but not least panelist, I'm going to call your name in full so everybody can be confused together. Oyindamola, we're expecting a lady, I think. Oyindamola, Olofinlua, welcome, Oyindamola. Now, Oyindamola's profile is the longest. Head of brands and marketing marketing and communications for Tranter IT. Until recently, he was lead brands and marketing at System Specs. We all know System Specs. They have some of the most popular products in the fintech space: Remita, Human Manager, and Quanko. So, long story short, there's a lot of experience on this. I'm really glad to be here with you guys. Thank you very much. Okay, so we're talking about the secret to market penetration. I like how complex that topic sounds. It's really not. So I'm going to replace market with customer, right? Because the market is what customers, right? So the secret to customer penetration, the secret to getting into your customers' hearts and minds. I got some feedback from the panelists that the questions I said are too hard. So we're going to break it down. We're going to break it down into bite-sized pieces. So give me a second. First, I wanted to just go around to ask you what, now, customer means different things for different brands, right? For some of us, we work with B2B companies. Our customers are other brands, right? Some of us work with B2C businesses. Our customers are individuals. Some of us do hybrid, right? Some of us are service as a software businesses, customers need all kinds of things. So I wanted to start by asking you, Olabinjo. This time I'm asking you to profile who is a customer. It sounds very basic, but you'll be shocked. Who is it? And there are customers at different levels. There's a customer, for those of us here who you've experienced marketing, you know what you call the marketing funnel, right? Everybody in that funnel is on the journey, So can you tell us a bit about who your customer is?
This is probably the hardest question. I don't know why you picked me. But I think the customer is often the person that's paying for the products, and so they can be paying with their time, which is their attention, or they're paying some form of money to get value. But I also think that there's a lot of nuance depending on the type of product, right? So I use Instagram for example. I'm Instagram's customer. But Instagram's customer is also businesses advertise and sell on Instagram. So it really depends on the kind of product you're building and who's getting value from it.
Customer is somebody that's getting value.
Yeah.
Right? Which means not necessarily somebody that is paying.
Exactly.
As long as the person gets some kind of value, right?
Yeah, it could be somebody in the chain. So for
Yes.
example, maybe it's an HR platform, we pay salary to the platform.
Yes.
The HR managers get value, but all the
Customers as well.
I think this is great. So employees are also our customers. So
Yes.
the HR people about us. But the employees also need to know about us. Maybe they can,
Influence, yes, HR. I see, for example, what you said. Those of us who work with organizations that use HMOs, the choice of the HMO is the staff that comes back to tell you this HMO is not working for us. By the time 10 people complain, they form mini union. And then, meanwhile, the HMO is not marketing to you directly. They are probably trying to talk to your HR heads, and all of that. But yeah, so do you want to tell us something different from what, or in addition to what you think?
Maybe not so different. I think it's around who you were producing the product for. If it's a product. So when you're conceptualizing the product, who do you have in mind? Did you profile them? What exactly did you think they would use it for? So your customer is who would use your products. And using your product can be in different categories. As he said, it doesn't have to be those who are paying for it. It could just be those, as your Instagram is, for instance. There are guys who actually run adverts on Instagram. Most people use it for free. But those who use it for free and those who run adverts are customers. Without those who use it for free, those who are paying for it do not have the value they require. So you need to draft your customers or provide your customers such that your service speaks to those you want to attend to across the value chain. So in short, your customers are those who derive value from your customers, from your products, your service.
I think Oyindamola already just said about fintech, but in addition, I think your customer is who you really solve the problem. And most times products or brands start out to solve certain problems and eventually uncover new problems that they're solving by proxy. Example, the HR model you referred to. I'm sure the person probably wanted to make healthcare easily accessible and affordable for people in the world. However, you realize that making a value-added service to employers, and they started using it as a priority requirement for them to attract talent. So that's the big funnel. And there's another term that a lot of startups or people are beginning to look to now, which is beyond just B2B, it's B2B, B2C. And the reason for that, I'll also stick to one point. The reason we do what we do is because we're trying to make sure that you, that you're the end user, you never have an issue trying to get the product you like. And how can you ensure that? It means by solving problems for the businesses that offer those things.
Thank you so much. Just one line that I picked out of what you were saying is there are customers at different levels of the value chain, right? I like the example of Instagram. There are paid advertisers on Instagram, they are customers. There are free users, they are customers. Sorry. If they're even if they're not paying cash, they're paying with their time. And so every customer pays, whether they're paying cash or whether they're paying with time, every customer pays. So it's not free for any customer. Because of the Instagram example, it doesn't matter that they go online and they're not paid advertisers. The fact that they spend time on your platform is a big deal. They're paying. So you need to make it worth their while. Okay, that's a good one. Now I want to go into, and I'm hoping that we can get really practical answers to this question. I want to talk about, now that we've profiled who our customer is, I want to talk a bit about customer acquisition strategies. Right? The biggest deal, you're in business only because you have customers, right? Tim said something about fancy apps without customers get deleted from Google Play Store very quickly. So I remember, they tell you about marketing channels, right? It's digital marketing, all of that, traditional marketing, and there are different strategies to get customers. But I've discovered also that not everything works for every type of customer, right? There are a lot of non-traditional ways businesses, especially in this sector, are acquiring customers now that might not, that are not fully explored. But nobody is giving us the handbook. Like, we don't do influencer marketing again. It doesn't work. This is what we now do to get customers. Your ability to scale is limited or buoyed by your ability to get customers, right? So, where do we find customers nowadays? Like, what works? What works? Especially for, and I'm asking because I worked in businesses where we use apps. App acquisition is expensive when you use digital marketing. Install acquisition is expensive, right? And they are not loyal. They delete your app once their phones tell them they need space. If you are not a banking app or you are not an everyday app, so how do we acquire these customers now? How?
So with the different services and the different products, or with the different startups, there are different ways to acquire customers. And I think one of the things is understanding who your target audience is. Once you understand who your target audience is, you understand how they function, and then you understand how. Okay. Okay, once you understand who your target audience is, you understand how to target these customers and how to get them to be on your platform. So what we do at Zedi is we work for startups, we work with tech startups. I know a lot of our startups, the clients, a lot of our startups are fintech startups. And one thing we've learned to understand is it doesn't matter that these three fintechs are doing the same thing. Their target audience can be different. And so, first of all, understand who the target audience is, then you can build out strategies to reach these target audiences. So for some, it will be to do referral marketing. I'm guessing that you're asking what are the cheaper methods of...
Yes. There's no so, and I'd let you continue, but if anybody here is used to Facebook marketing, it's not the same as it used to be.
No, it's not.
Facebook is now more expensive.
Yeah.
And less reach. Yes. And with now all the policies, privacy policies, your phone, your app cannot track. There's a lot of problems now with that. So except you are boosting a lifestyle feel-good post, if you're really doing performance marketing, you have to look outside the box. Exactly. So that's what I'm looking for. What's outside the box?
Okay, so for whatever, I don't know if I should give it this out for free though. Give us. So one of the things I've actually discovered right now, one of the things I'm exploring, I mean there are a lot of different strategies, but one of the things I'm exploring right now and that seems to be working is community rounds as an acquisition and retention strategy. I'm not trying to sell Get Equity, even if they're one of my clients, but I find that because we did the same thing for ourselves. So we are a growth marketing agency. And we did a community round on Get Equity where we asked our customers to invest in us and own a part of our startup. And what that means is every customer that invested in us, no matter how small, whether it was
$400, whether it was $500, whether it was $200, they feel like they own a part of our startup. And we've actually retained all of the customers that invested in us. They are not going to go and work with any other marketing agency because they feel like, why would I be working with another marketing agency when I own shares in this marketing agency? So that's one. Another thing is they are more likely to come to us to make their complaints as opposed to going online. They will come and tell us because they feel like they're part of the community of owners. They won't go and complain online so that they won't reduce the chances of other people to come and patronize a business that they co-own. Even if it's a tiny 0.05% that they own, you should see how they feel like when they come to the office, they sit down, they feel like they own the chairs in the office or they own part of the business, and then they give us advice and tips, they refer us to their friends, they refer us to other businesses. We haven't needed to do advertising for Zedi post our customers. Every other customer we had after our raise came from an existing customer. Cheap car. So I think that community rounds, having your customers or your very first base of customers investing in your business is a growth market, is a growth hack. It's a really great growth hack. Yes. So even the ones that are not working with us currently will refer other customers to us because go to them because as our value grows, their money grows, and then they feel like they own a huge chunk. They've even referred us to investors. I feel so that's a growth hack I think that people should explore. Community rounds as a growth hack.
Yeah, so for free. One of the things I did a while ago when the Apple ATT started happening, was I started to look deeply at lookalike audiences. So if you're unfamiliar with that, what that means is you say you have an investment app, right, and you have 100,000 users, but now you can't even target new customers because getting is so poor across almost all the channels, especially people that have iPhones. On Android, it still kind of happens because of Chrome and the Google network. And so what we did was we did the lookalike audience, and we basically extracted our top performing customers, all of them, like 100, 200 of them, and they started to target their own friends. And in addition to that, we topped up with a referral campaign, right? So what we did on two things is people are talking about us to their friends, but their friends are also seeing the ads almost like immediately. So imagine Ized's contact or something, right? I've shared it on my WhatsApp status, but she didn't click the link. 2 days later, she's probably going to see it. And it's like, oh, Binjo posted the link. So she's going to come to me and say, oh, Binjo, you posted this thing 2 days ago. We saw that really helped. Another thing that we also did, and this is a Future Africa example, is we tried to find where the customers were without doing like large-scale digital marketing. And our customers were often, for our investment products, was often in newsletters, right? So we had to do a lot of research to find what are the industry newsletters that audiences reading, right? And I remember stumbling upon this newsletter called Finimize, the finance publication, right? Email finance publication. And they told me they had 180,000 global accredited investors. And accredited investors earn 200K and above annually. So like that was insane. Like there's no way I can find the kind of people with Facebook. Do you get what I'm saying? It's very difficult at this. I'm probably never gonna find them. Another thing we explored one time was tech hub, where we wanted to try and get like a developers that were earning high income to come to our platform. So it's really just thinking about where the customer is outside of those channels and trying to find them. You have to talk to a lot of people to figure them out. You have to do a lot of research. You have to read a lot. But that also helps. It's not very easy to scale because the tools are not there. You have to do all of this manually, right? It's very difficult to scale. It might also require you having to do things more often, like webinars or events where you're seeing the same people over and over again. But it's just a state of things until maybe somebody carries Apple to court. But for now, those kind of things I'm seeing happen. But in the offline side of things, I'm seeing people do, and we also did a lot of very closed community type of events. So if my customers are in maybe Magodo, for example, right? If I find Magodo as a place where my customers are, I would go talk to resident associations there and try to do a meetup or some type of chat, or get somebody in the WhatsApp group to invite them to something. And those things are working because now I know that everybody there has money, right? They have lights. They always have lights, so they always have money. So they always have money. And so I can just leverage those relationships and try to build traction on my own platform.
So basically, what I'm hearing is something I think that people should explore is Facebook groups. A lot of people are not exploring Facebook groups. Facebook groups are a gold mine. I'm working on a campaign now, and I needed to sign 5,000 people at once. And the person warned me several times. I paid 3 agencies and nobody could deliver, and went on and on and on and on, and then gave me 12 weeks for the campaign. Literally just targeted Facebook groups. There's something about Facebook group admins that when they say jump, everybody's asking how many times should I jump as opposed to how high, because they're already jumping high regardless. It's the way they greet the Facebook admins before they even start the conversation. Good morning, admin. Oh, good morning, Auntie. I'm talking about people in their cities. WhatsApp admins, Facebook admins,
as well.
and so when you partner with like the Facebook admins, or you partner with like the Facebook groups, they tend to send, and these are not people that will come and download and not use that service. When your Facebook group admin has said, everybody download the app and put 500 naira and go 1,000 naira, you will want calling them, say, okay, it's okay, our developers are complaining of too much traffic. And so that's a channel that people should explore. And the good thing about Facebook groups is that they are even labeled according to the demographic interest. Yes. Yeah. I want Lagos moms or school proprietors. I mean, that's such an interesting Facebook group. School proprietors in Nigeria. You will see like 400 or 500 school proprietors on a Facebook group, because whatever information they're sharing, they're actually getting a lot from that. And then if you sell a product that you need to reach out to school proprietors or proprietresses, I hope the English is correct. That's a group that you can target. Lagos moms, fitness gurus, designers. There's a Facebook group for graphic designers that has almost 100,000 graphic designers there. When we are looking for like quick, there's a Facebook group for all of the small blogs in Nigeria that has over like 60,000 blog owners. And people ask us, how do you get that article in up to 5,000 blogs so fast? We dropped it in the Facebook group and said, who will publish this for whatever amount? And everyone, yeah. So I feel like that's a channel that people should explore, Facebook groups that people are not exploring.
I'm going to go here, but I just wanted to say what I'm hearing is that the way forward sounds backward.
Yeah, we're pretty much going back to
Because
2010.
yes, because the way forward is sounding like grassroots work.
But the good thing is we now tend to build closer relationships with the customer.
Yeah.
So I'll be better affinity.
What happened to all our don't click plug them?
People are wiser. That's the long shot of it. What I was going to add, in addition to your keywords, you should also use associations. Nigeria has a lot of associations, which is interesting. So they're always
if you build a fintech.
Exactly. So I mean, the other day we heard about association of pure water manufacturers changing price.
That's it.
So things like that are really big, and interestingly, they carry this into digital channels. So they're on WhatsApp and Facebook, as Telegram as well. But one other thing that is very important, I think everyone has spoken to acquisition. I'd like to speak to retention. So for the part of retention, there's a very simple trick about retention. It seems very simple. It seems like something everyone overlooks, but it is the most important trick, which is your product must work. It is greatly overlooked, but you'd be surprised how you would have gone for a lot of community rounds, you'd have spoken to a lot of people, done great TV ads, spent a lot of budget. And people come to the platform, and the first problem they have is they cannot, let people come to the platform, they're on board. It works, it gets in. But 2 days after, they're unable to check their accounts, they're unable to check their balance, they're unable to take out their money, they're unable to do things, and it's just telling them different issues. And this is a first-time customer. So now imagine what the experience will be. What will now happen is you built an army of people that hate your product. And once you have that, forget, there's no amount of remarketing or marketing you want to tell them that will bring them back. The only thing that might happen is if you say, oh guys, I'm selling dollar for 100 naira, and everybody will be back. But yeah, it's really overlooked, but it is very important. Another thing, if you can't control that, it is at least communicate consistently, like Tim said actually. This is really important because people need access to support channels. So, and communication is two ways, not one way. You're a brand does not mean that you're not human, you're not accessible. So if I'm unable to log in, you should tell me that even before that, guys, I think we're experiencing network downtime. However, if your problems are different from this or you have peculiar emergencies, you can reach out to me through XYZ channels. These are very key because little things like this are what helps people stay in your chat. Yeah, your customer experience and people stay because if people keep leaving because of bad product experience, there's nothing. Trust me, marketing is nice, marketing is great when it works, but marketing can work against you.
Yeah, thank you so much for that.
So just little thoughts. Much more than B2B or B2C, I think you should consider H to H, human to human. More than building
Jot
a
it
product,
down, jot it down.
more than building a product that is for a particular audience, as I said, does it really work? So most times when you build a product, you start from ideation or you go to development. Very often, development guys think that marketing is a waste of time. And then after they've done all the work, they then bring it to us to push out. It shouldn't be that way. How it should actually work is when you are ideating about a product, marketing is actually there to provide the insights that are required. Because after you've done all the work and you've developed the product for yourself, and you ask us to push it out, you are just giving us too much work. So it's easier to push a product that actually works, that delivers value, than to push one that you think have built the best app in the world and doesn't work. So the key things for me are when you want to market a product, remember who you have done the product for, what is it meant to do, where are these people exactly. So if I'm a 16-year-old today, I'll build a product for you, I'll go to TikTok and push my product on TikTok. I will not go to Facebook to push a product that's for the youngies. One thing that has also worked very often is using, in Nigeria, yes, using communities of influencers. So if I want to reach Mr. A, and Mr. A might be so difficult for me to reach, there's someone Mr. A listens to. So let me use that demographics again, 16-year-olds to 18-year-olds. I have a product for them. I prefer them as people who are not paying bills. They collect pocket monies from their parents. They live with their parents. Well, aka broke. So they listen to their parents. Their parents still guide them largely. But this is a product that they have to pay for. I can create awareness for them, but I have to also push that awareness to the guys who would fund that thing. So if I'm also looking to speak to, say, a community of developers, as she said, and I have to reinforce that, it's easier for me to go to the guys who can give me the community with little spend than going to them one by one. So I think it's important to explore communities, know who you are building your product for, ensure that the product actually works, and always remember you're communicating to human beings. Even if it's a B2B, they are first human.
It's a person behind the B. Person. Okay, so I really sad because I was hoping we were going to like more plug and play marketing where I just click, you get, and I reach 3 million people with 5,000 naira budget. Okay, so hard work, community building, basically that's what we're doing, right? Okay. I want to ask about the Nigerian customers. Are they loyal? I want to talk about retail, building loyalty with customer groups. And I'm asking because of this. There are some of us here whose businesses, if you're being very honest with yourself, it's just your marketing is just an endless pool of new customer acquisition. By the time you look at your ratio, new customers to returning customers, you find that if anything happens to your ability to recruit or acquire new customers, you're in trouble because you are not having enough returning customers, or you find that your number of active users declining, use an app, right? That's a problem. So what's the hack? How do we ensure? Because it's lower CAC when you have somebody, how do we ensure that?
think that Chinedu already talked about one thing when he talked about building great products. And the thing about Nigerians and software, Nigerians are actually sports. A bunch of the software that people have used, they work great and they work perfectly first time. So when it doesn't work first time, it's like, yeah, clearly you didn't do your job as a company. That's how people think. I remember one funny issue we had at Bondo when we launched in early 2020. And people just went to Play Store and they gave us 1 star, like 100 people. Like first day, they just came and they gave us 1 star. I was like, yeah, you obviously expecting too much. And I just remember sometime this year I was talking to a Kenyan founder, the church expansion. I'm like, you can't come to Nigeria with this app. It's too ugly. There's no, like, you can't. I'm sorry, the features are so high. The cosmetic rate is very, very high. Especially in financial services that people want to just be able to click, and do whatever they need to do and go on with their day. So that's the first thing. I think the second thing is also thinking about retention while you're building products, right? And one very good example of this is how like a bunch of savings and investment people do automations. Carrywise now has something called triggers that you can trigger it to, you can connect it to it, you can do World Cup and EPL kind of things. So thinking about what can I build in the product that's going to bring my user to come back, right? What features do I have to build, or how can I make it easy for them to keep using this thing over and over again? So maybe you're building a CUDA pack type of thing, and you notice that every 27th of the month, somebody always sends money to a particular account. Maybe you can trick them to me and say, oh, do you want to do this easily every month? Or it's going to cost you extra money. I find that people often find those things very useful. So it's really just sitting down to think beyond, acquiring first set of customers and thinking about how to keep them with new features, whether they are adjacent features or they are even entire new product builds.
So basically, integrate into their everyday needs.
Yeah.
For customer behavior across, your app or your product, and find out what.
Can I add on? Something that helps and that has helped me is thinking about the product as an operating system for a particular sector, right? So if I'm building a savings and investment app, so there's an article on my blog, is there, you can read it. So it's already out there. But like something to help think about, if you're a savings and investment app, or maybe you help people pay billing, you have to start thinking about how you can be the ultimate personal finance software that you use to do everything aside even just where your core thesis or your core focus is. I think that really helps build a very large product moat. I think a company that has also really done this well is Bamboo. They now have credits. So I guess they noticed that their customers were taking loans elsewhere with higher interest rates. But now you can take credits off your Bamboo investments at low interest rates, right? Which is like, so now I don't have to go to another app and sign up. I can just do it in Bamboo. And they have my entire investment history. So I guess the rates are fair and they figure out whatever. Sorry.
Should I go?
Yes.
Yeah, so I would say data communicates, two separate things. So first is to know how they've used or more like monitor customer behavior. So you have to have access to data. So if customers tend to drop off at a particular period of time, you would know if you have access to your backend data, and you can also use that to craft communications to them. You need to know the guys that use your products, and you have to be specific in how you communicate to them. So, very random example, you send an email, and you have certain number of people who have clicked, some have not clicked. And all you just do is to abandon them. Don't abandon them. So you have to still go on to communicate to the guys who didn't click. Guy, have fun, I didn't click this thing. You won't say it that way.
But if that's your brand voice.
Well, yes. Yeah, so why didn't you click this thing? This is why you benefit from this and this. So if you have a guy who at a particular point in time has said, pays his mother, you're a payment app, or pays his friends, or at a particular point in time you have to get loan for certain things, or it's almost baby, communicate with them based on what you know about them. Avoid communicating generally. And that's what I think many brands do a lot. You just use one brush to paint everybody, and then you think it will work. If you send me an email that is not for me, it will not fly with me. It will not achieve anything with me. It will even lead me to unsubscribe from the platform and even using it. So use data, communicate, and more importantly, marketing doesn't end with acquisition. I mean, you don't stop communicating when you finish acquiring them. It has to continue. It's like PR. PR doesn't end when you finish the gig. It ends when you actually gone back to your leads and said thank you. When you go back to the guys who gave you business and said thank you. So communicate and know who you are communicating with. Meet them at the point of their needs.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Ized. Okay, so I want to say something about Nigerian customers because you asked Nigerian customers as well. The thing is, a lot of brands or a lot of fintech products, a lot of products think that Nigerian customers do not expect them to be bad. They're already expecting it to be bad. They're already expecting for things to not work from time to time. How you communicate that to them is actually critical. Like Binjo said, if you tell them, I don't know who said that, but if you tell them beforehand, before they even click on the product, that you can't do transfers today, you actually get a lot less complaints than when they actually click through to do transfers. They find out that they can't do transfers. Once you, and it sometimes comes off as over communications. I've worked with two digital banking brands. The first one will over communicate, literally over communicate. You can't transfer today, you can't transfer beyond this amount, you can't do this. And the other banking brand was very insistent on us not saying the bad things that were happening on their app because they didn't want to look like they were over communicating like too many bad things were happening. But we had a lot more active users on the platform that was over communicating, like you can't do transfers, because people would know that, oh, I can't transfer between this time and this time because something's happening in the app. The other app that was not communicating all the bad things that were happening, people were actively churning and they were going to this. So sometimes people think Nigerian users are not loyal because when they come on your platform, they see something bad is happening, they will go to another platform. That's because you didn't manage their expectations, you didn't tell them. And then there's also that thing about people saying Gen Zs are not loyal. They're the lazy, so no offense. But Gen Zs on your platform, they're actually lazy. If you do well, they'll stay there. They don't feel the need to go and use another app. They can't be bothered to go and download your competitor app. Or it's millennials that shift from you do me wrong, I'll move to this. Gen Zs will stay because they don't have the time to go and fill another fintech form and put KYC. Yes, I want to stay here. So if they get a good service, good customer service, good whatever service that they're getting, they would stay. So they're more loyal. I mean, from the customers of my customers, we find that Gen Zs are actually more loyal than any other. I think it's laziness because it's like when you ask, because when you now do a poll to find out why didn't you move when I can't feel KYC for another bank. I mean, let them tell me when they can send my money, as opposed to going immediately downloading another platform to go and. So sometimes communicating good customer service beyond just having a good product, when you know that for whatever reason you have downtimes, communicate to your customers, let them know ahead of time. You will even see sometimes that when somebody comes to complain online, another person will respond.
Yes, that's what I was going to say. Brand advocates. They've sent email, they don't send
you not see the email, you know they read your email. So there's that. But because I literally watched two different digital banks. The one bank, they refused to communicate because they thought they were sending out too many bad messages. The other one would over communicate. And there was a lot of churn happening on the one that was refusing to communicate, and then the ones that were over communicating, active users were growing by the minute. So people expect that from time to time they have downtimes. So communicate, customer service, great product. Those are great retention strategies. However, I'm still an advocate for over acquisition because acquire from top of the funnel, like fill it, so that if retention goes already, at least you have people that there's a steady flow. Okay, thank you so much for that. Thank you.
In addition to what Ized has said, the interesting thing is that our Nigerian customers were, I think that's a very cultural question at the same time. Because you have to look back, culturally, Nigerians were all people. That's the truth. I'm not going to take an answer. But back to that, because the truth is, this also shows you, Nigerians go where they're appreciated, where they're respected. And trust me, the fact accessibility is one tiny thing that people don't look at as a very strong appreciation to. The fact that, oh, guys, you can complain to me and I respond to you is a big deal. And the fact that people, so when you said people respond on their behalf in the comment sections, I just remembered my Instagram comment section and how it gets messy sometimes when maybe we have a little bit of delays processing some transactions and people are like, but people are responding on your behalf because they've been informed as well. So that's over communication. Sometimes telling people a lot of bad news, it's bad in its own way, but at the same time it's good. It's good because it builds trust. If you tell me enough that there's problem, I trust you enough that you're not running away. Very, very key. But if you don't tell me at all, I keep finding problems every new day. Don't worry, I'm not going to tell you when I leave. You just notice that your activity on this platform, you've last logged in 3 weeks ago. 3 weeks, not 3 months. You last start sending me email, I won't subscribe, and that is it. Exactly, they tell people please. And then they will even become the originators of all those scary WhatsApp pieces that start.
Yes.
That say this platform is crashing. Oh my god, those things are scary. But yes, that's it.
True. Okay. Really interesting conversation. Because I was expecting a bit of bashing of Nigerian customers, but maybe it's we, the product owners, that need to do better, right? We need to do better.
Sorry, they have their own too. Customer is king, but just do it.
Not today. Okay, great. Thank you so much for the insightful responses. Now I want to go back a bit, right? To now when I started out, a healthy marketing strategy for acquisition and retention had elements of what we now call traditional marketing, PRT buses, TV, radio, billboards, right? And digital. They had to complement. Then they would tell us the old channels. Those old channels are for brand building, right? They will say you need them to look credible. You need to spend money. Nigerians trust what they see on the billboard. They will say, I'll say it in Yoruba, but I say this, I'm only on TV, so it must be authentic. If they saw you on African Magic advertising, you must be real, right? So they will say you do that for brand building. I can't even go over the kind of conversations I've had with CEOs who didn't understand the spend. Like, okay, so what's the ROI? They were like, top of mind awareness. And they're like, okay, so when they are now aware, so what will now happen to the awareness? You know? But I found also that when I mix channels, when I, for example, have a big campaign and I do my digital and I add TV, you get it helps. Is that a sustainable model? Seeing that those channels, that Lekki bill is 12 million for 1 month, right? We pay salaries. If you know the people that own it, I'll mention their names. They can give you 9 million. Janet, last price. 9 million. Meanwhile, the product you are selling, subscription is 2,000 naira per month. Subscription on the app. So is it still a sustainable? Can we still run a brand campaigns still? Do they make sense? Do we need them? What digital channels can simulate the kind of effect that we get from TV, radio, if we can afford TV, radio? There's a digital bank that came out with a bank. They had a big budget. A lot of the funds companies are raising now, half of it is on marketing. Boom, 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 because TV is not sustainable.
I think it depends on the stage you're at. So, two of the companies, I think you're mentioning financial technology companies. So, can we say can we go to let me try. You cannot quote me. So, I think Kuda and Cheaper have done like the largest offline campaigns so far. And it's very important. It's important to realize that Kuda and Cheaper didn't do this in year 1 or year 2 or year 3. It took they have to have like cash in the bank to go and start signing up like musicians and influencers and having those billboards and those parties and sponsoring concerts. Like they're very expensive endeavors. So I think that what you want to do at first is to be able to, especially if your product is entirely digital, so there's no offline component, right? Is you want to first explore digital channels and build some traction. And one of the interesting things you even see there is, and like people that work at these companies will tell you, whether they're lying, I don't know, but they'll tell you it takes a couple of months for those ads to actually see proper success.
Oh yes,
3 months. 3 months, right? Yeah. I don't know if they're trying to get more money, but they always say it. But like, so if you do a Google ad campaign, right, your first 3 months, the numbers look good, but they're likely to look better in the next 3 months, right? And 3 months after that, because the brand become more stronger, and people think it's more trustworthy now. because you've been around for a while. So there's definitely a place to do offline, but if you don't have the money, you probably shouldn't do it. I see a lot of startups now do this. There's this, what's that road in Ikoyi? I'm not going to call it name. There's this road in Ikoyi, the one that leads to us, but Alexander, is it? Yeah, and there's like some fintech ads there, but it's like 3 banners. It's a waste of money. Like, don't do it. Like, it's 3 banners. Like, I'm going to see 3 banners, and then I'm going to see another company's 3 banners, another company's 3 banners. And so you want to be able to do this when you have enough cash to have all the banners on the entire road, right? Like Number has done recently, and Money Points has done similarly as well. You have the entire road. But it's even taking Money Points maybe 6-7 years to do the big offline campaign, because they're grassroots products, right? So they've gone to the person that needs the thing, right? They've solved all that grassroots problem. Now they need to build better awareness and better branding for customers or for whatever reason. Now they've gone offline as well. But also they've raised a ton of money and can afford to do those things. So even though the ROI is difficult to measure, it's important for them to be there, right?
Sure, thank you. Let me answer from 2 different perspectives. We launched the VBAM campaign during lockdown, so there was no billboard, there was no offline marketing, and we managed to do a 700,000 downloads. Very active users, I will not give the percentage, but we managed to hit over 750,000 downloads in 6 months and over and billions in revenue during a lockdown. 0 billboard, 0 offline, 0. We didn't do any of those. Yes, there was the Don Jazzy effect, so yes, there was the influencer marketing campaign, but there was also the building trust where in a lockdown, I think okay, where in a lockdown, people were worried about what platforms to trust, and for a platform like that to be doing all of those things, people thought, oh, okay, these people still have money, I can trust them, I can have money. So people were literally moving their monies from other banks or other digital platforms to come and save at VBank. And the feedback or the feedback poll was, VBank is spending money during lockdown, they have money, I feel like I should be safe. Or Don Jazzy said it's safe, so I would rather move my money there. So people were actually just coming to dump their money or their savings there and then locking it. So we had a lot of fixed deposits, savings and all of that. And then they were keeping whatever spend they were using maybe with other banks, but there was a lot of, I will move my money to VBank. So there's also, you can actually grow a platform. I mean, maybe it was just a lockdown effect, but you can actually grow a platform on just digital. But we recently did a cluster marketing campaign where we went on the streets to drive downloads. The very first week we went noiseless, we went with sales people that we had trained, we entered ICM Ikeja City Mall, and then we entered the computer village. When we got there and these people were going around, people were like, no, I've never heard of you people, no, there was a lot of pushback. The following week before we went, we started running ads on radio, we started having radio conversations from the weekend before. And this time when we were going back for this campaign, we went with these people that were singing and dancing, and we were sold out. People were actually walking up to us to sign up. It was a micro-insurance product. People were signing up because this time we were coming with music. When we came, these people were dressed as salespeople, they were trying to get you on the same platform, wasn't a different product. Sign up for micro-insurance. No, I don't want this health insurance. So who are they? The next week, not even 2 weeks after, not even the next month, the very next week, with DJs and dancers and sharing flyers, all of a sudden everybody's signing up. I want to sign up for the product. I want to sign my family up. I want to sign. So sometimes there's a need for Nigerians to see pizzazz for validity. If you can dance and sing, maybe that means you are valid. It wasn't a different product. We did not reduce the amount. It was just, we went with dancers this time, we didn't go with dancers the other time. So, I don't know, with Nigerians, you can't say there's a science to it.
No, I mean, at the end of the day, I think what I discovered, and much as what you said, is we had a number of us marketers or product builders. We try to sell the way we would buy. You know, we don't do enough research about our customers. I will be the first to tell you,
we don't do enough. We pay lip service to, oh, we know the target. It's a lie. That target, you people ideated it on a table in your office. Nobody went to validate that target in the market, right? So because I tell myself, I mean, if I see people singing and I say, I won't go near them with the 10 football, I will be on the other side of the road, like, that's just too rowdy. But I'll be like, I can't do that. My product is for tush assorted people. Forgetting that the middle class, upper middle class, all of these products, they are not your customers, they are not the mass market, you know. So that's singing and dancing. Nobody validates. See, we need to do a lot more research on who our customer is. Grassroots, go there. Not say we're building this product for ages, you know, and believe we understand them based on what we see on social media. You'll be shocked, you know. So what I want us to do is just put a last word in, because I'm sure we have maybe 5 minutes left now. I don't know, this last word is supposed to be a small word, but the question I want us to answer as we wrap up is this. I said, why are you looking at me? You are shooting me bad eyes. Is this? So I'm sure there are people in this room whose businesses, whose startups are small. All these English people are speaking, and community, we don't have resources to do that. How can a small startup scale down? Because sometimes you have to first scale down to scale up. How can they convert all the big ideas you shared in this room into something? Just tell me one thing a small startup can start with right now. Just one thing in your opinion.
Who contributed to the book?
So just give me one thing you would tell a startup to do right now. Small one.
Okay, so I also used to work in VC anyways, and one of the things we used to see and we used to talk about internally was startup founders have, we used to call it a founder market fit, right? So if your founders come from a background of, say, insurance, and they're trying to sell insurance to some group of people, they often start selling their insurance to their immediate network and probably some clients that they forgot 5 years ago, right? So I always advise founders to actually start from their own immediate network. So if I'm doing something in education and I used to be a school principal, how many principals have I actually talked to? Right, and I've said, please send me the contact of all your principal friends, right, to get people to use software, whatever it is. So that's usually a very good start. And it's also very good because you're not spending too much money, and your growth rate actually is speeding up. It's just like you reaching out to your own influence network. I think many people forget that. So many people will just go and do a website and then they'll tweet about it. But like their family members don't even know what the company does, right? So most people need to just start where they are and talk to the people around them.
Church members, but obviously we're going back to the grassroots.
Yeah, especially for a small startup. I would say content marketing because you already said using your network. Because using your network is actually one of the key things for small startups. First of all, build your network. Just before you even launch, already start building your network. Before we launched Zedi, I had started talking about it a lot, such that when I actually put out a lead form for people who will be interested in working with us, at least 56 people signed up. So we already had like that base of potential customers to start with when we started. And so besides building your network, content marketing. Now, I know they talk about storytelling a lot, storytelling, engage your customers, but some people have story told their way out of sales. They've told stories that you look at the social media platform of a startup and you wonder, what do they actually
What do they do?
So storytell within context and storytell within what you do and within your product. There's engagement, yes, but don't drive engagement such that you are engaging people who are not even your target audience and you're wondering why nobody's actually clicking your lead form or clicking and your products are not selling. Like, everybody's engaging. You had over 100,000 likes, 50,000 or 1,000 likes, and yet nobody's buying. Because you used your storytelling and your engagement tactic to target the wrong audience. Those are not your target audience. So storytell within context. Content marketing is critical now. Content marketing is not just critical to your potential customers, content marketing is critical to your potential investors. Because when you eventually start fundraising, that's the first thing they will look at. What are people saying about your product? What are you saying about your product? What are you doing to drive conversations about your product? So, beyond using your network, content marketing, and
do it well. Nobody can tell your story better than you in the first instance. So I know that the first thing to do is thinking, oh, let me hire somebody who's really good at content marketing. But you're the one who ideated that product. You're the one who thought of the product. Use that, the content marketing strategies or the content marketing content itself, and then let somebody else build on what you've started. So networking and then content marketing will be what I want.
Thank you. So we're building networking, content marketing. Thank you, Ized.
In addition to what you said, like you said, we're going back to the basics. If you look at it as a small business, it means you're creating a niche, very niche. No matter what problem you're solving, no matter how big that problem is, the reason you're also small is because the truth is you cannot service scale the market. So that means you're going to operate at a niche. You have to understand that clearly. Then secondly, like you said, your network. And in this case, I would like to refer to it as database. And the reason for database is I look at it as a platform for learning. So at that first start where you just go to market, your goal can be, okay, I want to have 100 customers that I service directly in the next 1 month or the next 3 months. Now, it is very tempting to want to say, I want to take this product to the next 1,000 people after that milestone. But one thing you're missing is an opportunity to properly learn, iterate across marketing, across products and everything. Now your content marketing, how you know it even works is because you see that your 100 that you built, your content marketing is not going to be just you speaking to them. They'll be referring to, they'll be giving you content. They'll tell you, today I used your product though, and it was very great, to save my life. And that becomes the next basis of your conversation for the next market and everything. So those 100, never call them your pilot market or your pilot audience and everything. It is very important to have a pilot audience or a test audience for everything. And another thing, like you also said about storytelling and the need for engagement. Well, I like to look at it a bit differently. I think, like when I look at businesses, I also look at entrepreneurs as target audiences because I feel like if I make business look as exciting as it can be for you, as an entrepreneur, you will follow your dream. If you follow your dream, I've built the market for myself. Because the truth is, as much as it is, the market is big enough, but it has space to get bigger. And it would be nice if you make your decision to join the market because of me. So also as a startup, you have to think through that part and know who you're targeting as well. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So networking, content marketing, work with your first set, your first adopters, learn from them and your early adopters.
What's your USP? What marks you out? So it's a very large market that you likely will be playing in. So if anybody mentions your brand, what should come to mind? You have to have a distinguishing factor. That's the first thing. Second is, don't overpromise and underdeliver. So even if it's a very small market you are servicing, if you say you will deliver A, deliver A. The best you can do is to deliver B and C in addition, but deliver A first. The danger of doing, so this thing is about trust. And it's a lot dicier if it is in the retail space. That you promise to do A and you are doing less than A. So if you want to do or deliver a certain service to your target audience, be sure that you can deliver it. Don't lie. So you've been accused of being liars in marketing. So marketing is supposed to tell brand lies and sell brand lies to people. Well, they think you do. So don't lie to your audience. Tell them what exactly you can do, and your product can actually come in at the minimum expectation of what the market wants. You can meet the minimum expectation, and then grow as you get along. It is not a crime to come in without a USP. I don't think so. But be sure that as you continue, you have a distinguishing factor that marks you out. So first thing, your USP, be unique among the crowd. Second thing, always under promise and over deliver. And I think you'll be fine.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you so much. You guys have been a very good audience. Thank you for everyone on the panel. Please, we need to publish the key points, pamphlets from this session. I want to buy. Thank you so much.
Okay, well, it's not over yet. Does anyone have questions? Just have 5 minutes for questions. Yes.
Do we have questions? My panelists, except for me, are yet to answer.
I'll be taking the head count. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, that will be all. Thank you.
good morning. I have a question in regards growing a small company. For one, we want to look at two things. Is it right to constantly inform your customers, because obviously you target like a small audience of company like max 100, 200, because you can't go into the market of products because you have like different things that affect the product. So for those 100 or 200 people, is it good to always communicate to them like every single time when you have a problem? Would that not affect trust with those people, because those people are like close people? That was one question. Secondly, when is the right time to scale? When do you know is the right time to scale? I think those are my two questions.
So I'll help you field the questions. So the scale question. For the over communicate, I know Ized has spoken a bit about it, but I want Chinedu to talk about it as well, because he runs a mass market fintech product that I'm sure we have sent multiple messages. So what's your strategy for that? And then we go to
Thank you. Is it wrong to over communicate? I don't think there's anything like over communicating. I just think it's how you communicate and what channels that you use to communicate. So I don't know what product you run, but typically you probably, if it's a tech product, you'll be exposed to in-app communications, push notifications, emails, SMSs, and plethora of all that. And now the fun thing is, so as much as, and then if you want to over communicate, that's fine, but you have to make sure that it is not just when it's good you're communicating. You also have to, like the same said, like a preference, good, bad, and hard. Because the truth is, I don't want to also think of a brand as only bad jokes. So, and another thing you can also do is, if you have the budget for it, or it doesn't have to even be a budget, it's something you offer. So it can be, okay, today I've communicated something bad. The next communication should come with, oh, guys, because of this happened, I'm going to be giving you maybe 10 minutes free transaction or something like that, just as an offer. So that every single time something bad happens, people are looking forward to, okay, the resolution and what they're giving. I know this sometimes comes with a budget for a lot of brands and everything, so a lot of people might not want to do that, but it can be as little as, okay, for the next set of people and everything, I'll give you free access to certain benefits outside of my product and so on. So yes, it is okay. And the best part is, if it's 100 and 200 people, you can actually call them personally. It shows that you take your product or your business very seriously. So that people, to be honest, not a lot of people to call. I mean, if you're running a proper business. Thank you.
that incentive after problems will be like your swear jar, so that you two will not be having problems. You know that we have problem, we owe these people money. We don't have problem.
So I think very difficult question. Which is, how do you know when it's scale? And in the OG days of startups, now people raise money before they even build anything. But in the OG days, when startups were startups, when people knew to scale was that the server would crash. And so the server would crash, or they would just get too many customer requests and they'd be like, so now we need to go and get money because we have to pay for better engineering and better server management, right? And that's a very good sign. So when your team is overwhelmed, when it's like, we've been doing this thing for a couple of months now, but today we don't know what happened, or maybe we even know what happened, right? But like today was hell, and tomorrow is even worse than today. That's often a really good sign. Okay, now there's clearly more people than we have thought and want our product, so we need to be able to go and figure out a way to now serve them. I think that's a very good proxy.
All right. My question. My name is Olafinlua Samuel, and this question is directed to.
Olafemi, where are you?
I'm here. Okay, so this question is directed to Ized, but anyone also who wants to answer the question should answer. So far we've been tilting towards B2C mostly. But the question I want to ask now is concerning B2B, especially towards content marketing. Because that's not usually a place where they take too much, like they focus on, even though I tend to believe that it's important still, because like you said, it's still humans that run these businesses. So what's the strategy when it comes to content marketing for B2B that would effectively bring in more customers in that sector?
Ninja is actually what I read. Yeah, you should actually buy Binjo's book. It's really good. And I've never been free advert for you again, but it's a really good read. Really, you should buy it. I have read it twice, free of charge by the way, because I waited for somebody else to buy it. Because Binjo should have given me a copy for free, but you know, he doesn't do the right things at the right time. However, for B2B, I think Tammy already answered the question. Brand building, telling your who, telling your what, telling your why. And I think it's actually really critical or it's really important for a brand that is coming to sell B2B to have that in place and tell those stories. This is why we started. This is the problem that we're solving. And this is who we're solving this problem for. And this is us. So there's the top leadership part, there's the who, the why, the what, and then there's the this is our brand. These are our users. Because she also talking about the organization. These are our users, these are our customers, and this is what we have done for them so far, and this is how they feel about using our service. And those are the stories that you tell about your brand. That's the content marketing that you can build for your brand. Before you then go into, or as you go into iterating the product and the product features and what the product is about. But who are you and why did you start and what problems are you solving? And you can tell these stories not just on your social media timeline. You can tell them using press, you can tell them with videos, and I think that that's what you do. You guys, again, I should stop doing free ads for people, but Obafemi Samuel does the best videos for startups that are looking to tell their stories. You should have introduced yourself when you had the mic. But he does that, and he builds startup stories with videos. So those are the kind of things that you need to focus on by telling this is who I am, and this is why I started this business, and this is why I tell these stories, and then build around that. Your why, your who, your what, your customers, and your organization. Sometimes a TikTok video just showing your staff and what each person does. This is a graphic designer, this is a we're talking to an investor yesterday, and I told him that we had 28 staff, and he was like, why do you need 28 staff? I'm like, there's graphic designers, there's content writers, there's the strategists, there's the project managers, there are people doing the ads, the copywriters are different, administrators are different, but people who've never worked in a marketing agency think that one person can do both the copywriting and the graphic designing and then you let them know. So if we put that maybe, because the person was saying, I went to your social, and I don't know why you guys need 28 people. And I'm like, so do you expect the person who's writing the content to be the one putting the ads on, or to be the one who's doing the graphic design, or to be the one who's writing the strategy? Which is what somehow we found out that a lot of businesses sort of expect. That if you are writing content, you should also be able to do ads, and you should be able to use Canva. They say, use Canva, do ads. Graphic design, have a bit of HTML knowledge. Yeah, so we actually do have those skills, but you don't expect one person to be able to do that. So tell the story more about your people. So talk about your people, your who, your what. Those are the stories you use for your content marketing.
I'm told we can't take more questions, but I just wanted to add to what she said. We can still talk outside, right? We can have conversations outside. And it's this. Remember, the B in the business is a person. You are still talking to a person. You are not talking to GT Bank. You are still talking to somebody, right? In GT Bank. You still need to find out, and you need to, the way you craft content, the copy, directed at B. You need to know their pain points are different from the B2C customer. Right? Their keywords are different from the B2C customer. If I'm buying your product, I am buying on behalf of my company, and I will answer for that purchase with words like ROI, with words like, words that mean something to my company. So you need to be talking to me about how your product will help me meet my KPIs, right? So you are helping me do my job, because if as HR manager, I'm buying a HR product, right? You are helping me do my job, because the next thing is they will say, why do you even need this product? You already have a chart. You hear those things a lot. CEOs who are not clients, right? So you are still talking to a person. Find out the person's pain points. Why would this person need your product? This person wants to manage. So talk like the person will hear you and be like, once I
subscribe to this product, all my problems are over. I will just generate dashboard and share with my management team. Finish. So thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you all for this. The speakers can come together for a good pitch. Please don't be in a hurry to leave. We just have a brief fireside chat that will hold and be on our